Hey everyone, that picture I have on this right before this commentary here was of what people are pretty much taught was the very first Thanksgiving and how it appeared. And Thanksgiving was what was it celebrating? And so I was doing some reading and stuff, and so
What I want to do over today, I'm going to read some facts and fish myths about the myths and the facts about Thanksgiving. But also, just Thanksgiving, it's funny because here, what they do is you go straight from Halloween to Christmas. They sort of just Thanksgiving is almost a forgotten holiday. I mean, not for the people, but just for, commercialism. To me, it's one of the more enjoyable holidays because you get together with family or friends and you have a big feast, watch American football. So, actually, that's one of the ones I enjoyed more than the others. But the way you're taught in school is sort of like the picture in the beginning. You're taught that that's sort of the way it went down, and you're thankful for, being here, and they sort of teach you that, it's it's a blessing to be here, and everything was peaceful, and the very first Thanksgiving and all that. Well, it wasn't made an official holiday until 1863, when Lincoln was urged to make it an official holiday because the nation was on the brink of civil war. And it was sort of a tradition, but it was never an official holiday. So let's go over some of the facts. So when we do celebrate, you can celebrate it any way you want, but just have an idea of what the first Thanksgiving was really like. I think it's sort of interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and read some myths and facts. The first myth: the first Thanksgiving took place in November. That's not true. The fact is, the exact date isn't known, but the feast likely occurred in late September or early October, shortly after the harvest. Myth number 2: the pilgrims gathered for the big feast as curious Indians looked on. Fact, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this tribe right or not, the Wampanoag tribe dominated the proceedings, outnumbering their hosts 2-1. About 100 Wampanoags arrived, bearing welcome gifts, 5 freshly killed deer. So this whole thing about turkey, as well as ducks and geese. So I don't know how the turkey ended up getting in there, which brings up another subject, which is if you have a chance to buy what I guess you'd call free-range turkeys. There's only half a dozen people that actually raise free-range turkeys, and you'd be amazed on the different types of turkeys they have out there. As a matter of fact, these 6 people are actually keeping these species from going extinct. The turkeys that we normally have on our table were genetically engineered back in the 70s and mass produced in small cages, and they were genetically engineered to have a lot of white meat, a lot more white meat. That's why your turkey, for the most part, is dry. And these free-range turkeys have a lot more dark meat and are actually much tastier than the turkeys that Butterball puts out. So let's go to the next myth. The Puritans enjoyed an alcohol-free Thanksgiving feast. And it says, the fact is, pilgrims loved the good beer. No doubt ale was plentiful thanks to the recently harvested barley crops. Myth: the native people thought highly of pilgrim intelligence because the English citizens brought with them advanced technology. And I thought this was rather interesting and funny. Fact: the pilgrims may have had durable shoes, woven clothes, and powerful muskets, but their lack of survival skills earned them little respect among the natives. But the pilgrims nevertheless found the, and this is a quote, found the Indians very faithful in their covenant of peace with us, very loving and ready to pleasure us. And that was said by Plymouth Governor Edward Winslow, and he wrote that in 1621. Myth: the first Thanksgiving led to years of peace. The fact is, fear and suspicion constantly stalked the Pilgrims, as well as the many American Indian troops in the area. Violent skirmishes peppered the uneasy relationship among cultures, and not long after the first Thanksgiving, Pilgrims killed the chief of a nearby tribe, thrusting his head on a pole outside the colonists' recently built fort. So, I guess what I'm going to teach my children is Thanksgiving today is celebrating being thankful that you have food on the table, you have shelter, and you live in relative peace. But the very original Thanksgiving was turned out to be very a big tragedy, because, you know, I don't think anybody's celebrating the fact that many Indians were wiped out and almost wiped off the face of the continent. So I figured since Thanksgiving was this Thursday, I'd go ahead and tell everybody happy Thanksgiving no matter where you are. We can all have Thanksgiving, be thankful. So it doesn't just have to be an American holiday.